Diddy's arrest on September 16, 2024 sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, but this scandal is only beginning as more victims come forward unraveling a past full of chilling secrets. The music mogul's dark history is being dragged into the spotlight, making it impossible to ignore. One lawsuit in particular accuses Diddy of forcing a woman to get an abortion after getting her pregnant. This isn't just another celebrity scandal, it's exposing a much darker side of F that's rarely seen. With fresh footage surfacing online, it's clear we've only scratched the surface of this explosive story, and the public is bracing for more revelations as more victims step out of the shadows. Diddy's arrest on sex trafficking and racketeering charges opens a Pandora's box of allegations, making the once untouchable rapper now synonymous with abuse and exploitation. This scandal reveals a filthy underbelly of the music industry that's been hidden for far too long, exposing one of its most powerful figures in ways no one saw coming. Rarely are men of Diddy's stature held accountable for such atrocities, but this could mark the beginning of a long overdue reckoning. The entertainment world and society at large have long protected influential men from the consequences of their heinous actions, especially when it comes to sexual violence, but Diddy's time seems to be running out. A growing number of survivors, emboldened by his downfall, are finding their voice, and their stories are painting an even darker picture. One recent lawsuit alleges that Diddy drugged, assaulted and impregnated a woman, dragging her through 4 years of sustained abuse. The victim, who has chosen to remain anonymous, filed her lawsuit in the New York State Supreme Court, detailing a nightmarish pattern of assault from 2020 through July 2024. What makes these claims even more shocking is Diddy's audacity to continue his abusive behavior even after federal agents raided his Los Angeles and Miami homes in March. This timeline suggests that Diddy believed himself to be untouchable, convinced he was above the law even with the feds closing in. The lawsuit reveals that Diddy alongside his staff allegedly recorded sexual encounters without the victim's consent, leaving her suffering from anxiety and fear for her safety. The victim's first encounter with Diddy was in the fall of 2020 abroad, where she was invited by him on a trip, but during a visit to Miami in 2022 she woke up with bruised feet and bite marks with no memory of how it happened. According to the lawsuit, the accusations take an even more sinister turn when the lawsuit claims Diddy drugged her with an unknown substance, causing blackouts and memory loss. Following this incident, she discovered she was pregnant but was reportedly harassed by rapper Young Miami, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who urged her to get an abortion, playing a role eerily similar to Ghislaine Maxwell's in the Jeffrey Epstein case, in a twist that echoes the infamous Maxwell scandal. The lawsuit claims Young Miami played a pivotal role in controlling and manipulating the victim, much like Maxwell did for Epstein. For context, Maxwell was convicted for her role in Epstein's sex trafficking ring, recruiting young women and facilitating their exploitation, but in this case the pressure didn't stop after the victim's miscarriage. Diddy allegedly continued to harass her, making her life a living nightmare. According to the lawsuit, the victim suffered a terrifying pattern of abuse, with each visit to Diddy repeating the same dark cycle of manipulation, coercion and sexual violence. During one visit in late 2022, the lawsuit claims Diddy forced the victim to ingest substances, causing her to black out again. She woke up with no memory of the events but with physical injuries, a cruel testament to the abuse she endured. But this horrifying pattern continued for 4 years, with Diddy allegedly dragging the victim into terrifying sexual encounters involving both men and women despite her objections. The lawsuit also claims that Diddy TRC'd her every move, monitoring her communications and paying her an allowance to control her. Her compliance, the lawsuit says, was born from fear of what Diddy might do if she defied him. The victim's attorney Napoli Skolnick commented on the broader significance of this case, saying it highlights a deeply entrenched culture of exploitation in the entertainment industry. And that's not all. Tia Graves has also come forward with her own lawsuit, accusing Diddy and his bodyguard of brutally assaulting her in 2001. According to court documents, Graves, who was dating one of Diddy's employees, was lured to the Bad Boy record studio under false pretenses. What she thought would be a discussion about her boyfriend's job turned into a violent nightmare. In her complaint, Graves claims Diddy gave her a drink that was likely laced, causing her to lose consciousness. She woke up restrained and helpless as Diddy and his bodyguard allegedly assaulted her. Graves didn't report the incident out of fear, knowing full well the power Diddy wielded in the industry. Her fear was an unfounded. Diddy allegedly threatened to ruin her life if she ever spoke up. In November 2023, she discovered Diddy had recorded the assault and sold it as pornography. It was this sickening discovery that pushed her to finally break her silence, holding a press conference with famed attorney Gloria already read to share her story. Graves is not alone in her pain. More victims are now finding the courage to speak out, and it's becoming clear that these allegations are just the tip of the iceberg. Another victim, April Lamprose, has accused Diddy of sexually assaulting her multiple times from the mid-1990s to the early 2000s. Her lawsuit paints a horrific picture, claiming that Diddy pressured her into drinking and assaulted her repeatedly. At one point, he allegedly demanded that she perform sexual acts in front of a parking attendant. Lamprose tried to escape Diddy's grasp, but the fear of retaliation kept her silent for years. And then there's Crystal McKenna, a former model, who claims that Diddy drugged and assaulted her at his recording studio in 2003. McKenna's lawsuit presents chilling details, including the fact that she still has the unwashed clothes from that night as evidence stored in plastic wrap. The disturbing accounts from these victims are heartbreaking, but they are just a glimpse into the long history of abuse that's only now coming to light. A 14-page indictment released after Diddy's arrest details even more horrific allegations, including claims that Diddy hosted freak-off parties where he drugged and coerced victims into sexual acts, sometimes recording them for his own amusement. The indictment suggests that Diddy used these recordings as blackmail, controlling his victims with threats of exposure. But with more victims finding their voices, the walls around Diddy are beginning to crumble. His arrest has opened the floodgates, with over 100 men and women now coming forward with their own harrowing stories of abuse. High-profile attorney Tony Busby, representing many of these victims, has stated that this is just the beginning. Busby intends to file a class action lawsuit, potentially bringing Diddy's entire empire crashing down. This avalanche of accusations could finally put Diddy behind bars for life. Adult film star Audrey Sherry English is among those filing lawsuits, alleging that Diddy forced her into sex acts at his infamous Hampton parties. As the cases continue to mount, it seems like the music mogul's reign of terror may finally be coming to an end. The legal onslaught is relentless, and Diddy's once glittering empire